Hey, you've found the Great American Stampin Show. This is an exciting time because this is a big stamping competition, and you have found one of 4 videos that are a part of it. So here's how it works. I'm going to show you a project, and there are 3 other videos to watch as well. Their links are in my description. Those are my competitors. So I want you to check out all those videos and then give a thumbs up to whichever one you think is the best. And these votes are super important because in just 1 week, next Thursday, we will crown a winner for this Season 2, Episode 5 of the Great American Stampin Show. Now, last week we did Designer Series Paper, which was such a fun topic. That was really cool. And Jody was our winner, so big congrats to Jody. I hope she's had a fabulous time wearing her crown for the week. And this week we're in a whole new competition. So it's up for grabs again. Can't wait to see who our winner will be. And in other Great American Stampin' Show news, we have a big event coming up in just a couple of weeks. This is going to be so exciting. You can stamp along with us in a few weeks here. And so watch for more details coming soon about that, but get excited. It's a first event that we've tried of this type. So let's get started stamping. Our assignment on the Great American Stampin' Show today is embossing folders. And Stampin' Up carries a whole line of them. We have all different kinds of designs. This one's kind of a deep ruffle design. There are lots of just different texture type designs. There are some that cut a deeper impression, and those ones are called 3D folders. And some that are a bit thinner, but they still make a big impact too with making a little impression on your paper. So let's say I've got this piece of Poppy Parade cardstock. All I would do is sandwich it right inside of this folder, and I'm going to line it up with the line that's on the front of my folder. Some designs matter more than others, but this helps you get it straight. So if there's like stripes or something like that, you can get it perfect. Now, when you run it through your Big Boss machine, always put the hinge first. And then literally, in just a couple of seconds, now I have this. So let's compare. Plain layer of cardstock, textured layer of cardstock. I mean, it is such a just instant way to give a huge pop onto any cards. So you've got to get to know your embossing folders and use these in your creating because they are just a really cool way to give subtle elegance to any project. I'm using the Bright Skies stamp set, which has these fun sun, rain, clouds. I just especially love the greetings in this set. And there's a whole set of dies too that coordinate and have some similar pieces. I've used this kind of medium-sized cloud with the stitched edge to cut a cloud piece out of the center of my cardstock layer. So this is Tahitian Tide. It's cut to a card front size. It's just 4 by 5 1/4, so it'll layer onto a card with a little edge. And then I've already cut my cloud out of here. Now, to give this some extra pop, I want to use an embossing folder. So I'm going to choose this one. I believe it's called Raindrops. So of course I want the rain to fall down this way from my cloud. So I'll just put it in the folder like this, close up my folder, and then roll it through my Stampin' Big Boss. And just like that, my background has gone from kind of boring to really this is a finished layer and ready to go onto my card. Now I wanted to add a little extra pizzazz to these raindrops. You can do a few different things, like you can put ink inside of your embossing folder and then roll it through. That can be a little bit messy for me. Plus, if the design is this sparse, it's really easy to get ink in the spaces as well in between the lifted design. So what I decided I wanted to do was actually ink this with Versamark ink and then use clear embossing to get like a watery look on these raindrops. So let me show you a couple things I tried that did not work. So here's the one where I put Versamark ink on my raindrop side, and I went really gentle and just like smoothed my Versamark on here and tried to get it just on the raindrops. You can do this with the brayer too, but because they're spread out, inevitably you're gonna end up with some Versamark in the spaces as well. And then the other thing is after I ran it through, I realized, oh, it's the depression of the raindrops, not the lifted side, that got the ink, which does make sense when you think about it. I just wanted to see if I could figure out a way to get this side to be the embossed side. So on this one, what I did first, I had it exactly to this point, and then I carefully just swooped my Versamark across here and embossed it. And again, it was really hard not to get any ink in the spaces between the raindrops. The raindrops got caught really well. There's not a single drop on here without the watery look, but I've got some in between as well. So let me show you what does work to get a nice even impression. So what I've got here is a brand new plate. This is when you order new plates for your Stampin' Up! Big Boss machine. And I am going to, on this completely unused plate, just go ahead and put lots of Versamark. This is nice because after I can just soap and water this so super easy, and it comes off really well. Now, if I lay this onto it, you can see that the raindrops touching down would pick up some of that Versamark. The problem is if I roll it with a brayer or press it with my hands, I'm going to touch the spaces between the raindrops as well. So instead of that, I'm going to bring in my second plate. Here's my other plate. I'm just going to lay it on top, and now I can get a perfect, even impression. I've just got a folded scratch paper here to catch my extra powder. I've got my clear embossing powder, and I'm just sprinkling. Okay, now we'll lift this up, tap off the extra, and you can see that embossing powder has stuck just to my raindrops. Systematically go over everything. And here we go. I cannot tell you how proud I am of inventing that method to go ahead and get some embossing just on my drops, because I hope this will show on the video, but this literally looks like raindrops. They look wet. They're shiny and wet looking just on the drops and nowhere in between. So what kind of a cute card can we make out of this? You know what would be fun is to do a shaker card inside of this cloud. So that is what I'm going to work on here. Now, if you've ever made a shaker card, you know that one thing you definitely have to have is a window sheet. So I'm going to place this window sheet right on the back of my cloud just so we have that clear cloud here. So we'll do that by running my Seal Plus. You want a really nice sturdy adhesive. You could use tear and tape for this, or liquid glue. Push that right down into the adhesive. Next thing I'm going to want is underneath my window, I want to have a piece of white that's just here underneath my cloud so that I can stamp on it and do a little greeting underneath there. Let's go ahead and do some stamping. So I'll pull in some shades of blue. This is Tahitian Tide, which by the way is going to be retiring soon. So if you're a lover of this color, it's time to get the ink, the paper, the refill, get all that stuff on hand so you can use it. I'm going to use Blueberry Bushel for my words. It's a darker shade of blue. And then I'm going to add Raindrops as well. And for those, I'll use Balmy Blue. So I'm kind of going a shade darker and a shade lighter. I've got my cloud here in place so I can see where the window is. I'm going to ink up my greeting, you brighten my day, and go, okay, I know I want it right about here, and then I'll just move this and press it down. So now I'll just add some raindrops, a few on this side, a few on this side, something like that. I'm going to pull in these iridescent shaker circles. This is something I have not used very much, and they've almost been in our catalog for a whole year. But look how pretty these are. They're kind of these different hues of purple, pink, and blue. They work really well for this card. So I know that's what's going to shake around. So the next thing I need, I've got to pop this up, and I need a barrier here so that the shakers can't escape. Stampin' Up! Has these awesome foam adhesive strips, which among other things, they work extremely well for shaker cards. So I've got a little part of one right here, and I'll just start with that. And this is how you do it. I imagine myself building a castle wall. So I'm going around my window. Your window could be any shape. You can do squares, circles, whatever cute die you have. Not on the very, very edge because I don't want it to show from the outside, but kind of close. See how I've just got about a 1/4 of an inch of space maybe. And now as I build a new section of my wall, I just need it to butt right up to that, so there's no escaping. And then when I get really close, I'll come in with paper snips and try to create a nice seamless little edge there. So that's looking really good. And then I'm going to use more of this to build up the edge. So this will act like a dimensional and pop the whole thing up, but then my edges will be floppy if I don't pop those up as well. So I will just use more of this stuff to make some little walls here. Great. Now this one bit has started to peel off. So let's go ahead and finish what it wants to do. Pull off all these little guys. So now you can see I'm going to flip this and bring it down onto my card. I'm going to grab a little handful of sequins and I will pile them in the center of my window. I'm not going to try to put them in there because I have sticky stuff. I have static from the window sheet. I don't want to make this crazy. I literally want to not lose a single sequin. So I'm just putting them here. Maybe just a few more. When you have words inside your window, you want to make sure you don't overfill it because you want to be able to shake them aside far enough that you can still read the card. So I think that little pile will do. And now I will just carefully come above so I can see there's no repositioning this. So I'm going to make sure I'm got it centered really nice and press down, and all those little foam strips that I put in place are going to connect and stick down. My whole wall around here will stick down. And I have a shaker card. So I wanted to tie this through here, ideally before I had put Seal Plus all the way around here. But I'm going to lay my little edge of twine down and put my piercer by the end of it and just push it through. Okay, got that through once, push it through. Okay. All right, so now you just saw how not to tie your bow. What you should have done is tied that on right after you got the embossing done, before you glued the window sheet. But you know, everybody makes mistakes sometimes, and there's always a way to work with it. A couple of little decorations. I've cut these out from the dies. This is some of our shimmer sparkle paper, and I just cut one of the small cloud dies that's in the same set. So let's put a couple of glue dots. I'm putting them just along the bottom and attaching this cloud kind of by my bow down here in the corner. So clouds are usually not all by themselves. You get bunches of them, right? And then for my sunshine, let's pull in my Daffodil Delight ink pad. This die set cuts this cute little circle that looks so perfect on the front of the sun. And then I'm pulling in, this is a striped cloud stamp from the set. I'm going to ink it up with Daffodil Delight and just stamp it across that circle so that I have little stripies in the center of my sun. Put a couple glue dots on that. Now I'll use a couple of dimensionals to attach my sunshine up over the edge of the cloud here. And then of course, just so we have a nice place to write, I've got a piece that's 4 by 5 1/4, and we'll just glue that on the inside. I'm sure there are some more cute stamps we could stamp in there, but basically that is my finished card. You gotta love a shaker card. It never gets old just playing with it and tilting it back and forth. And my favorite about this one is it actually looks good even just when it's settled because of the cute stamping in the background. I've got rain, rain, and more rain. But then the message says, "You brighten my cloudy days," which is perfect. Well, that was a lot of fun. Thank you for sticking around and making a fun shaker card with me. I hope you loved how I did the embossing on here, and I hope you loved my video. If mine was your favorite, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to go watch all the other 3 videos in the competition so you can pick your very favorite. And then be back here in 2 weeks for our next episode. Subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of my videos, and I will see you next time. Thanks.